All right. Welcome back to the Astro Daddy podcast. My name is Danny Santos, and I'm here to talk about a topic that I've been meaning to talk about for a long time. I've developed my own theory of what is known as the underworld signs of the zodiac. Excuse me. The underworld signs of the zodiac. And this brings us to our first underworld sign of the zodiac, Libra. Libra is what I like to call the gateway into the underworld. This is where there is light, and recognizing that where there is light, there will always be darkness, and where there is darkness, we can always find light. Libra is both an underworld and an overworld sign. And as the entryway to the underworld, this is because it is the first sign of the zodiac to truly acknowledge the darkness. Before any other sign, we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, all of these overworld energies. They're dealing with the light, the land, the earth, what's on the surface, getting to know what's topical. And once we start to acknowledge the darkness, we have to recognize the parts of ourselves that are not fully integrated, or the parts of ourselves where we ignore. The sign just before Libra is Virgo. So it's focusing solely on perfection, getting things right. It leaves no room for sin. Think of the Virgin archetype, to be without sin, the Virgin Mary in Christianity. But with Libra's help, we can find balance between the darkness and the light equally. This is recognized in Libra's ruling planet Venus. Up until this sign, no other sign can really acknowledge this darkness, maybe besides Gemini. But Gemini is more dualistic. It's wearing the mask of one thing only to show something else, or to switch between two aspects of the psyche in extremes. But Libra is the first of all 12 to fully embrace, understand, and recognize darkness. Part of Libra's capability of dealing with the dark energies of life is justice. So we can think about the Justice card from the tarot deck. Justice represents Libra's nature to weigh both sides and make a fair assessment. In order for justice to be just, all information brought into a court of law must be true, but furthermore, it has to be fair. So Libra acknowledges that darkness and light, we need the truth and we need fairness. Even if the truth is revealed, but it is attained in an unsavory way, it is completely unusable in a court of law due to following the rules of fairness. This concept reveals that the truth only matters if it is used in a balanced and fair way. Otherwise, it discounts all arguments. So, let's say somebody was illegally recording somebody else and getting the final piece that was needed in a court of law through a conversation. This piece of evidence would be considered unusable because it is not fair. Therefore, it cannot be judged properly because it was brought in an unsavory way. So, when we think about the concept of judgment, Libra actually shares the archetype of the judge or judgment with Scorpio. And with judgment, I always remember this important phrase. Our words have the power to destroy worlds. They also have the power to create them. Speak wisely. When judgment appears in life or in a tarot reading, the message is clear. You're either at a crossroads of an incredibly important decision or that you're on the other side of one. The card itself shows an angel blowing the horn of heaven, raising souls from the dead to meet their maker. Judgment is not about being judgmental. Instead, it's about expressing the ability to make an educated assessment that will inevitably cause transformation in the lives of many. The role of the judge archetype is one reserved for masters. Truly, judgment is not something that should be handled lightly. Think of judges in competition shows. They're selected due to their expertise in their field. They have a level of mastery. They have the ability to see the ordinary versus the extraordinary. They also have the ability to see flaws, to understand where lenience may be necessary and where severity may be necessary as well. We'll discuss more about severity under the Scorpio archetype, but Libra can balance both sides, severity and leniency, clemency. So when we think about this judge archetype, I actually want to turn to Kim Kranz, who is one of my most favorite tarot artists. She also created a deck based on the archetypes. And in her deck, she does have, in the archetypes deck, she has a card known as the Judge. So I thought I would read a little bit about the Judge, just to ensure to fully cover this archetype. So the Judge, also known as the critic, the diplomat, the advocate. The Judge has an incredibly important job. They work every waking hour of every day, helping us discern what is safe, true, and just. When this archetype remains unconscious or is captivated by fear, wise discernment turns into painful judgment of self and other. Ironically, the Judge's energy can be the seat of racism, bigotry, and fear-mongering. This is the Judge out of balance, building walls, separating from other. When this same discerning force is made conscious and healed, however, the Judge may be found advocating for civil rights causes, standing up for the underdog, providing resources for those in need, and forgiving again and again. It is part of a Judge's job to pardon, so something to keep in mind. Kim Kranz continues to write that love is the deciding factor. Awakening this archetype is essential for the complex times we are in. Get your Judge in order. The world needs it. Kim Kranz continues to write that Gandhi had an incredibly illuminated inner Judge. He was a lawyer. He practiced silence one day a week in order to hone his discernment while on his revolutionary path. Kim Kranz also continues to say that the Judge's energy is contagious. When we feel judged, walls go up all around. Similarly, when we feel accepted, the entire world softens. We know that the Judge archetype is balanced when it falls into discernment, advocacy, following right action, and compassion. The Judge can fall into the shadow or the dark by moving into criticism, being critical, being punishing or unforgiving, and wall building. To go deeper, Kim Kranz recommends checking out Osiris and the White Feather of Ma'at. Now, along with these archetypal energies, I also want to address the archangel, or excuse me, not an archangel, but a regular angel, the angel Imamia. This angel is known as God, hidden in the darkness, and it is the elected guardian angel of judgment. So once again, the darkness, judgment coming into the foregrounds. As the gateway to the underworld, Libra season brings with it the leaves on the trees just starting to change color. Certainly a Venusian sight to be seen. It is one of the most beautiful times of year, fall, where we see where life was. Well, the life is still there, but it's beginning its transition, taking us into the underworld. This preparation metaphorically is showing us that before the leaves die off, shortly after, we will enter the underworld, Scorpio season.